What's up? It's your boy Carcino here. And earlier today, Patrick Patterson was in hot water. Now, I met Pat Patterson myself back when he played with OKC. Him and Felton is real tight. So, he was a cool guy. Never had a problem with Patrick Patterson. He was real nice, man. I didn't meet his wife, met him. But really, all this breaks down to is what he did 24 hours ago. Get into it on social media with a fan for saying happy anniversary to his wife. Now, Patrick Patterson does not hide the fact that his wife is a Caucasian woman. Okay? Does not hide this fact whatsoever. Now, he posts a picture of her and says, "In all the world, there's no heart for me like yours. In all the world, there is no love for you like mine. Happy anniversary." Now, I've seen pictures of his wife, and, she's put together. Physically, she's stacked. Don't know what she's done in her professional life or anything else. It's not the case here. So, someone decided to interject with a comment. This guy called himself Mafia Material, said that, what did he say? You would have never met that girl had you not. He said you would not have met that girl if you had not played in the NBA and you were just some regular guy. You would have not made it. I mean, you wouldn't have, you would have been a regular guy. She wouldn't have gave you the time of day. So he was like, true, if I never made it to the NBA, I would have never met her while playing for Toronto. But why does it matter? Love is love at the end of the day. Then he comes in and say, but it's not though, bro. You grew up loving our women. Why wait till you get some real money for your perspective? And even if you wasn't in the NBA or worked at Walmart in Toronto, you wouldn't stand a chance, bro. You just became another statistic. I bet she's the only one in her family history to date a black. Stay woke, my guy. And for that, something must have hit a nerve. Because once that was said, he comes right back at another person, not that person. He tagged another person called the Babyface Assassin 21. Or Big Gates 26 or whatever. And he just said 100 to the situation, like he had backed it up. So he just tagged him. It says, so I should settle for a bulldog and act like I'm happy with my life and preach? Keep it in your race to the world as if Dr. King didn't fight and die for equality, acceptance, all cultures loving one another, and no hate? No thanks. That's maybe your life, but I don't want that for mine or my family. Color doesn't matter. Wake up. So after that, the whole world exploded. I've never seen Patrick Peterson trend a day in my life. Even a day when he had like 24 points in a game, I never saw his name trend. Nothing like it did during my football games. And I said, oh man. I said, oh man, this is unreal. Because in my heart of hearts, I would have hoped this wasn't the case. Because when I heard it, I was upset. So I gotta, check for it myself to find out what's really going on. But the world had outrage right from the jump. Because I'm like, why would he say something like that? Because you came from a black woman. Your cousins, mothers, sisters, aunties, all of them are your complexion. So if you calling her a bulldog, what are you saying about your aunties, your cousins, your sister, your mother, her sisters, your grandmother, your great grandmother? Were they bulldogs? Is that type of mentality that doesn't fit as being someone who's saying equality or what you was saying all the things about Dr. King. If race and color don't matter, why would you call a race of people bulldogs? Oh, black women bulldogs. That doesn't sound like anything Dr. King was fighting for. That sounds like the polar opposite. That sounds like self-hate. But in all fairness, I wanted to hear his response. And true to it, you knew it would be an immediate response. And he says, I want to address the word bulldog during a conversation with someone who I felt was making disrespectful remarks about my wife and our relationship. I responded with the same, making a crude comment on his wife's physical stature. I know that two wrongs don't make a right, but I let my emotions get the better of me. In the heat of the moment, for that I apologize to him, his wife, and the rest of his family for the hurtful and crude comments made on that day. As I did in the rest of the conversation thread, multiple times I will clarify again that I was not using the term as a reference to black women. That is not at all how I feel, but I do not need to justify to the world that I love my black people. I have no animosity or bitterness towards any race. I believe in love and equality. Now, here's the thing. If you want to date a white woman, that's up to you. That's your choice. You have to live with the consequences. You know what you're facing when you're dealing with this. You know there's a possibility that you're probably the only one like you in your whole family. Well, in her whole family. that has dealt with blacks in all of these different situations. You're probably the only one. So, with that being said, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said, well, you know what? Let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe Patrick Patterson, you know, maybe he really felt this way and he really was hurt. And he don't feel like that about black women. Because I would hate for somebody like that. It's just that we've seen this type of attitude before. And it's because television, society, everybody portrays, and the way we're portrayed on television, the way we're looked down upon as what beauty is and what beauty isn't, people feel very disheartened when they get in situations like that as far as relationships. But you got to remember some people, you don't live with these people. You don't date them. You don't know what they do. Some people have to learn the hard way, you know? Some people have to go through life in a different way. Meaning that all these experiences on race, color, or creed, they all got to do it. They all got to come through it their way. They got to live with this person, not you. They got to deal with those consequences of the things that's going to come from it, not you. So I understand people's passionate care because when they become celebrities, they seem to trade up. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go get this person here. And it doesn't seem like love is the reason why. It seems like a self hate moment. You know, we've seen it happen before where the woman that was with him when he didn't have anything, all, all of a sudden, when they become successful or rich and they seem to forget the woman that was there with them when they made their ascension. All of a sudden, they're no longer any good anymore. The only thing that they're good for is, I paid them some money to go away. Now I'm in a new crowd, new woman, new life. And the woman seems to be of a certain complexion. And we've seen this happen when women seem to be only concerned with their material needs. And we've seen how those relationships end up when they're no longer making millions and millions of dollars and they're no longer, viable. When they're no longer useful, when they're no longer provided with that type of income of living, then you get to see if the love is real. Is she going to stick around? And this isn't black women's fault that Patrick Patterson decided to choose a light white woman, blonde hair, whatever. It's not black women's fault either. And black women shouldn't let this define their beauty. And black men should not be influenced by this situation. But what we have to do is don't forget to love ourselves. You can have fun with whoever you want, but know why they want you. But I've seen people in the NBA, they want what's accessible. They want what they think is hot and they want what other people think is hot. So in their mind they become blinded by the fact that okay, I got this new life, this new wife. She doesn't really know. I'm just in it for whatever. And you don't even know she's gaming you. And this creates the attitude of women just out to get theirs. Then you got these women on Instagram degrading or minimizing their worth by just shaking it and getting naked on the Instagram and DMing professional athletes just so they can get close to them, get a baby. That narrative is created like this because they feel you don't care about them anyway, so they just finna get what's theirs. It's no longer building anymore. It's no trust. But you, as the athlete who's young, got this money, and don't have a lot of intelligence in the situation, you're put in a box that many don't come back from. Well, you have to understand something. People are always going to be who they are. And if you don't know the difference between the two, you're not going to know what's going on. The programming of all these reality shows, they show you us in our most disforming or distasteful light, arguing, ratchet behavior. And if we creating this hate, we're creating this self-hate because who wants that behavior? What man would want a ratchet wife out there arguing, screaming, acting ignorant in public? And you see this stuff on reality TV and you go like, I don't want that life. I don't want no woman like this. But that doesn't dictate or that doesn't even represent the majority of black women. They think, but it's portrayed on television, so in everybody's mind, this is how we act. And that's not even 70% of us. There are strong, beautiful black women in business who are single and is not gay, but they don't have time for a useless man. Now, if you want to be a strong black man and stand side by side with that strong black woman, they're waiting. But they're not fit to waste their time with immature boys with money. They don't have time to grow you up. They're looking for men, not boys. And just because you play in the NBA doesn't mean you're a man. Okay? You're just a boy with a lot of money. But when a woman who got money, it ain't really impressing them. They make their own. So a lot of these guys in the NBA, these young kids, they want to impress somebody. And who you gonna impress? Other people who don't have the tools or the knowledge to go to the next level, to want to push themselves to go further. They love being mediocre. So a night out on the town in a big expensive hotel with some NBA player, this is the highlight of their life. And it makes the NBA player feel like, yeah, I'm important. This is something big. Meanwhile, meanwhile, everyone else who's trying to make it, they have strong pillars at home and stability. You see, when you have that stability at home and you know that that's secure, your life it makes a lot of things in your life easier. Some players it take them a time. Some people they take them time before they find that right person where they can have that perfect balance. So when you have that perfect balance, then you're able to say, okay, this is where we at right now. This is what I need. This is the perfect balance. Now we can build something together, family, structure, what have you. But there's been a lot of players that traded up and started dating like out their race and doing different things of that nature. A lot of players do that because those are the women that are like around them. They don't get to see people that's like them. You know, if you grew up, most of these ball players, some of them grew up in very poor environments. So if you grew up in a poor environment and you surrounded with people that look like you and you're going up into a high rich environment, there's a lot of areas you're going to live in. You might be very few blacks, period. You know, black families, black communities, you're going to be in a whole new world. You can't go back and live in the hood. You make too much money. Your life is in danger now. So it changes your environment. So I don't blame a black guy for dating a white girl. I mean, you put a black guy on the island with a bunch of blue people, you're gonna have some blue and black babies. Real quick, man, that blue chick over there, man, she thick as a mug. I had to hit it. Had to take it down. Ain't gonna be like, I call her Avatar. Come here, blue chick. That's Smurfette. That's Avatar. Hey, so I've seen it a lot. I live in an area where it's 6% African American. 6% African American here, and about what they say about 8% is Hispanic, and the rest is Caucasian. And then you have other descents or whatever. But the majority of the people that live out here are Caucasian, right? So the black people you see, you try to friend them. Hey, what's going on? It's like a natural brother thing. Try to make sure, hey, we 5%, but we got each other. We gotta stay connected, and stay what's up with each other. Because we know when stuff go down here, we just had that connection where the brothers be like, hey, that's some bull. We ain't getting involved in those problems. We staying over here because we know the situations. So naturally people are going to be around their environment. So I've seen different things. I've seen women that just date They want to date a black man, period. So a lot of these hip hop guys out here where they all like thugged out and they look like guys on the rap video, and the white girls want to date them because they think they're cool, and they don't really care about them, and most of them, unfortunately, some of them, I'll say not most, but some of them see them like they're only good for their sexuality and their sexuality, or their athletic ability, and it's like a cool points for them to say, wow, look, she got the black guy. Unfortunately, this has happened over and over and over and over again. And then we're put in a box like this is the only thing we're good for is our athletic ability and our sexuality. So they advertise that and promote us as this is what we're good for as black men. So you have to break that mold. So if you do date someone, make sure they in it for you, for who you are. But if you're not aware, you won't see that coming. But you can tell. I have plenty of them try to grab me, and I could tell that like you're into me because I'm black and it's a reward for you. No, sorry, won't get me because they assume I'm like the other black guys because she's throwing it out. She's wearing a short skirt. She's thick. She got her boobs out. I'm just gonna go in because that's all we think about. Nah, we don't move like that. We move a little different, a lot different. So, YouTube premiere, I hope I didn't put you to sleep. I hope I kept you guys like glued to the channel and was listening. Sorry I went on a whole long rant, but I gave Patrick the benefit of the doubt because he's always been a good, decent human being, but he has to be a little careful with the way he word things. And even calling somebody's wife a bulldog and a black woman a bulldog and you don't even know them kind of backs up the notion of the idea that you know you have a problem with black women. So hopefully that isn't the case. And for the rest of y'all, don't forget, you can hit my super chat is the link in the description box. And definitely, my cash app is Carcino. Thank you. I'm gonna leave you 4 videos here. Check them out. Check them out. Check them out. Check them out. And I'm out.